Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside a house flip we have finished, and it is now staged. So I actually showed this house last week before the staging, and I just want to show what a huge difference staging can make and talk about that a little bit, show you some before and after, and talk about a few other things with the house. We have had so much rain here the last week. Denver was breaking records. They had like 3 or 4 inches of rain in Denver. We're in Greeley, Colorado. Had a little bit less rain here, but still a ton of it. So the grass and landscaping might be growing sooner than normal, but our landscaping guys still should have been out here already, which you can see they haven't been. So that's kind of annoying. And then we're trying to figure out on this tree. This house is not listed yet. We haven't put up for sale yet. But this tree like could be really cool, or it could be just horrible depending on your taste. It's kind of like a cool design and has cool branches, and it is alive. You can see stuff growing on it, but I think part of it is also dead because there's no leaves on that side of it. So I don't know if this tree is more of an eyesore than it is cool or not. So that's something we want to figure out. And we have a few flowers. There you go. So I don't know, but definitely need some work on the landscaping here. Hopefully we can get our guys to come do that ASAP. This is a house I paid $280,000 for. It should be worth around $400,000. I talked about this in the previous video. The market has been doing much better here in the spring and almost the summer now, which is crazy than it was over the winter, which is how it normally works. And let's see what it looks like staged. And this house did not need a ton of work, which was nice, but obviously we did do quite a bit of painting. The floors were already done. We redid the kitchen. That was a pretty big expense. Did some work in the basement. But without the staging, it looks fine. But ever since we started staging houses, they really do tend to sell faster and probably sell for more money. It's really hard to quantify that or know exactly how much, because we can't really easily run a study on one exact house versus another being staged or not. But we did have a house in another town we sold a couple of years ago, and we had it for sale for a while. I think that was even before COVID, when we were in a more normal market, and we had it for sale and it wasn't staged, and I think we had an offer but nothing good enough to accept. It was for sale for a while. We actually took it off the market and then ended up staging it, and it sold right away with multiple offers. And again, it's really hard to say that, yes, it was staging that for sure did this, because, you know, market timing, different times of the year are always different. Maybe there were just buyers that were interested at that time, or maybe just, you know, taking a property off the market and putting it back on the market got more interest, because you do see that as well, where if a property's on the market for a few months, the listing gets stagnant. People might think there's something wrong with it. And then I am a realtor and broker as well. So I look at hot sheets all the time for my own investing. And, you know, good agents should also look at hot sheets all the time for their clients, for buyers they have. And hot sheets show new listings. So if a property has a price change, it comes back in the market, or it's a new listing, it'll show up on your hot sheet. So if you do take a property off the market, put it back on as a new listing, a lot of times that will give it fresh eyes. People will see it more. But you're not supposed to just take them off and on all the time for no reason, or our local MLS, the multiple listing service that lists properties, will get mad at you, and they can even fine you and do some different things because they don't want people abusing the system. But if we take a property off the market, do a little bit more work, clean something up, you know, change something, then put it back on, then you can usually be okay listing it as a new listing, because new listings do get more action than even just taking a property off the market and putting it back on the market as the same listing. So there's all kinds of different tricks and different things you can do in real estate, and that's one reason why, even if I was investing in a different area where I wasn't licensed, I would still always use an agent to sell a house for me. Even though it can be expensive, it's just usually worth it. They just know the tricks and in different things and know about inspections and appraisals and loan conditions and all the dates and what's customary to pay and what not to pay. There's just so many different things that go through it. And then you want to be represented by an agent too, especially if a buyer is represented by an agent, and you almost always want to pay a commission to a buyer's agent if you want to sell a house, because you'll be decreasing the amount of buyers who buy by a ton if you don't. And so then you can run into some real issues if one person's represented and you're not, and you don't know the ins and outs and how to do everything. So I always highly suggest using an agent, unless you just really know what you're doing, have time to do it, have some experience on selling houses yourself. All right, so that's the house. That's the staging. Makes a huge difference. I'll show you some before pictures what it looks like without the staging as well. The basement is not staged. I showed that in the previous video. So if you want to see the basement, which actually has 3 more bedrooms and a bathroom, you can check that out in the comments below. I'll link to that video. We'll have many more videos coming up here on our flips, rentals, businesses, interesting stuff that tends to happen to me, although it's been somewhat calm the last few months. Knock on wood. We'll see how all that transpires here as time goes on. All right, thanks for watching. Be back soon.